en la computadora. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first meeting of this new literature circle. We are discussing chapter 1 of Brave New World. And today we have newcomers or new people. So it's a new group. Let's introduce ourselves before we start. Why don't we start giving a short description of who we are, what we do? And so that way we can know from which area of knowledge we can contribute to the discussion, okay? You all know me. I am Alicia. I'm an English teacher, so I can contribute from language and maybe some perspectives on philosophy and psychology. I think those are the areas in which I can contribute to the discussion. So let's start introducing let's start with someone that has come here before and know what this is about. Felipe, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Felipe. It's nice to meet you. And I'm a chemical engineer. So I don't know what contribution specifically I can bring to the group, but I'm always open to discuss new ideas.
Yes, you are also a very cultured and educated man, so you can always contribute in the discussion. Ignacio, he's his first time here. So can you please introduce to the group?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Ignacio. Glad to meet you all. I'm not sure what kind of contribution I can bring to the discussion, but I'm always motivated to do my best. And I am a mechanical engineer, but I work mainly as right now or currently as like an industrial engineer. So not very mechanical background here, but well, I don't know what kind of point of view I can bring to the discussion, but hope
Probably
that
you can help us understand factories and mass production of things.
Oh yeah.
So we can see your perspective as working in big industries, this time industries of humans.
Sure.
Cool. Thank you, Ignacio. Kathy, go ahead, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kathy. I'm an anthropologist. I think that I'm in shock because I just finished recently the chapter, so I'm trying to process all the information. And I think that in spite of our professions, I think that all we have to say something about this book, because maybe we are in this book. I don't know. That's why I can say no. That I'm sorry, but I'm just finished recently. So.
Don't worry. It's okay. But definitely, we can all contribute from like. The idea of these groups is to have philosophical discussions. Probably none of us, or we won't have philosophers here, like someone who studied philosophy. Maybe we will, we don't know. But we all can ask ourselves deep questions, philosophical questions. We constantly do. So the idea is to reflect on the philosophical questions, the many philosophical questions presented in the book. So yeah, we can definitely contribute from whatever side of knowledge. Danny, can you introduce yourself shortly, please? Maybe not. Okay, maybe not. Connie, we don't know. I don't know if you would like to participate or just as a listener. Yeah, okay, so Danny can talk, and I don't know about Connie, and Claudio will be also a listener today. I guess everybody's feeling shy today. So it's okay, guys. Next time you can join us. You'll see that it's not that difficult and it's actually quite useful. So yeah, I would like us to start with a very short video of the description of the Bukowski process, because the chapter can be a little bit complicated. The first chapter is a little bit complicated because it's very scientific. So it explained the Bukowski process of making babies. Mm-hmm. So brief summary, in this chapter they have this group of male students attending, they're visiting this human factory, like human beings factory,
Mhm.
where the Buchanovsky process takes place. We'll see what the Buchanovsky process is, and then we'll discuss a little bit about it, okay? Give me just 1 second. Let me share my screen so you can watch this video with me. The speed is okay because I normally watch things at faster speed. So yeah, anxious.
Did I hear that you wanted to learn about Buchanovsky's process? Well, you've come to the right place. With convenient sections explaining what is Buchanovsky's process, why do we have it, and its history. This technical video will teach you all you should care to know about the reproduction process which drives our society. Let's get started. Buchanovsky's process is an artificial reproduction technique which is applied to human embryos in vitro. By introducing a special set of chemicals, the process splits an embryo into several identical copies. In the hatcheries, we can repeat the process to produce up to 96 embryos, where only one was before. Although, about 72 is a good average. Due to potential weakening of embryos from all this splitting, Buchanovsky's process is not used to produce alphas or betas, but rather reserved for gamma, delta, and epsilon casts. Each set of people produced using the process can also be designed with adaptations for their specific role in society. With this innovation, we can efficiently create the working caste, who run our machines and form the backbone of the world state. Just imagine the potential of 96 identical twins working 96 identical machines. Buchanovsky's process is a true innovation of our civilization and is paramount in creating the unprecedented social stability we have today. When combined with Podgnapp's technique to speed up the maturation of embryos, it enables the essential caste system where the lower castes do the work they were born for and everybody's happy. With each Buchanovsky group working together on a single task they were designed for, our society achieves a level of efficiency never before seen. You see, the whole of a small factory can be staffed by the people from a single Buchanovsky-fied egg. Also, since people are so similar and share so many beliefs, conflict and war are a thing of the past. Further, because we are now able to make people artificially, no longer are we plagued by the horrors of overpopulation, not to mention natural birth and child rearing. This makes Buchanovsky's process the foundation of our successful and prosperous world state where everyone is who they want and need to be. The inspiration for Buchanovsky's process originates from the old world, in the lifetime of our Ford. According to his Fordship, Mustapha Mond, the process is named after one Maurice Buchanovsky, a bureaucrat from the ancient region known as France, who was wise and believed in maximum efficiency much like us today. However, someone misspelled his name in a public education poster, so our current designation, Buchanovsky, stuck and became commonplace. The process itself was devised by a group of world state scientists after the 9 Years' War with inspiration from our Ford's Model T assembly line. In order to replenish the human population after this horrible conflict, the New World State employed the use of hatcheries with conditioning devices, assembly lines, and Buchanovsky's process to apply the wonderful principle of mass production to biology. Ever since, we have been able to produce the perfect people for a new perfect world. That is all you should know about the wonderful Buchanovsky's process which forms the foundations of the world state. I hope you learned something today and remember, community, identity, stability.
Remember, community, identity, stability. So the Buchanovsky process, I like this video because they show it, like I said, it's a fact. It's science, it's sci-fi video of the world state in the real world. So I know, Ignacio, you heard the whole chapter, yeah? Because you are the one who actually did the homework. So,
Oh, no.
so yeah,
I'm selected to talk first.
you are selected to go
To
first.
speak.
Yeah. So I would like you to, before getting into detail,
Mhm.
what were your first ideas and reflections? It's the first time you read the book, right?
No, no,
You
it's
read it
not my
before.
first time.
Did you remember? Did you remember it?
I read it at school, like in Spanish.
Yeah, but did you remember the story?
No, not at all. Something about, later chapters that I think that happened something about
Careful with the
a
spoilers.
zoo. No, I don't remember. I don't remember. Okay,
Reservation. Yeah.
I-
But yeah,
I'm gonna shut my mouth.
yeah. So yeah, overall, first, like now that you are in contact with the idea of the world state and the Bukanowski process, in general, in overall ideas, as an adult, in understanding the world as you do now, what is your main reflection or idea on the world state and the Bukanowski process? Scary, I don't know, fascinating.
Very good question. I think that both things are totally applicable to my feeling about Bokanovsky process, because it's it's really fascinating how they kind of in this fictional world they kind of standardize the process of produce human beings or social individuals, right? So that's interesting. Obviously, it's all fictional, and it's scary because, or I tend to think that, or it feels scary, mainly because this idea that you are like predestined to some life, like forever, right? I don't know if that explain what scared me about that.
Yeah, of course. I think I find it very scary. Do
It's very scary.
you think that? Sorry,
Mhm.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, go on, go on.
I was going to ask you that if you think that the idea of predestination is like, because it's scary, I find it also scary. Do you think we find it scary because it's a fear that something that could have, or is a fear that something probably that I don't know, that maybe is already happening? Am I predestined somehow, or what are the possibilities of being predestined to some
What are
life?
the possibilities of being predestined?
Like,
Well,
you think that it's going to happen one day, or it's happening?
Good question. I haven't thought about it.
Because it's one of the ideas presented here. Maybe you can think about it. Maybe I can leave that idea like floating for the discussion. Because in this society, they show us predestination as one of the key ideas.
Yeah, they use a phrase about like social stability, that it depends on this predestination and the Bokanovsky process. You have like human labor, and this kind of how to say mind conditioning.
Yes,
Like
it's conditioning. That's exactly the word.
conditioning.
So thank you, Ignacio. Felipe, just like we're moving from person to person. That's why it's not, I want to hear more from you. Just move on to, let's keep making bigger the discussion. Felipe, what do you think the world state associates, or how do you think the world state associates the concept of social stability and predestination? How do you think they are related?
Well, if you have predestinated humans, you have humans that won't protest. Is that a good word? Against what they're meant to do, because they were born to do so. So if you don't have riots or civil unrest, which is maybe one of the main reasons that a society could maybe collapse, you have stability because everyone knows what he is supposed to do, right? Because he was born for it. which is not the case, of course, in our society, but we have some similar situation when you have people that are born with a better economic status. They can easily choose another path regarding what their futures could be.
Yeah, yeah, like having the options at least. A predestined society wouldn't have many, like they don't have any options. Do you think that society nowadays, in that sense, we're not too far from somehow being predestined?
No, it's not too far because you have the illusion that you
Mhm.
can be born to do anything, right? You can become Elon Musk or anyone, right?
It's only up to you.
It's a free country. It's all up to you. We have a democracy. You have all the options, and if you are not achieving what you want, it's because you're not making an effort. Uh, but that is the illusion, right? Because it's far more easier to do so with a good economic status, with a good house to study, right? Uh, and if you think so, that is not the case. You just need to look at statistics to get an idea of what I'm saying.
Yeah, like we are actually, I think I find it very interesting that we present these topics in the middle of a discussion of dignity and equality. Yeah, like we want a more equal society. And I think that's very good discussion we can have from here, because technically the world state has developed a completely equal society in some aspects. Like technically everybody's happy with what they're getting, like the world state is able to satisfy the needs of its citizens. And maybe that's one of the things that we want as society nowadays. But is that a way to, like, will that reduce inequity? Will that, I don't know, ensure possibilities? Maybe the concept of equality is a very complex concept. What do we mean by equality? How do we keep equality and identity in the discussion? I don't know. Those are things I would like to discuss maybe with Kati. Kati, what is your perception on the concept of stability, its link with predestination, and the idea of having a stable society, basically? How much of predestination do you think depends on, no, sorry, how much of stability do you think actually can depend on somehow this predestination that we kind of always had in society?
I was thinking that this experiment pretends that all these people be happy with their condition or something like that, because they need workers, right? So I was read this part of this predestinate, for example, to emigrate to the tropics in order to make people become miner or working miner or steel workers. And it remember to me this phrase who said bread and circus to poor people.
Yes.
Related to this idea that they know, or they think that they know, what these people needs in this kind of experiment, that they can't see the possibility of reveal of these people. And is in this moment that I can do the comparison with our society, how the government or how rich people thinks that they know what is better for us in order to their world. So obviously it's coming here because they are invented new people. But I think that unless in this chapter, they can't see the possibility of a revelation.
Yeah.
Of this.
It's
So
caste. Like it's not gonna change. It's a society of castes, castas, not
Yes.
caste, but caste, like castes. So so there's in both cases, there will be no progress in castes, no progress in society of castes. So yeah, the idea they cannot rebel, they cannot change their destiny.
Yeah, but it's interesting in this example that's why it makes my attention now to put my attention, because we can think that these people who is predestined to live in tropics, they can feel comfortable to in another environments.
Mhm.
So maybe that is a big difference in compare because here there are biological conditions, not just social conditions.
Yes.
So, and we can see that because it's a biological determinism.
But
And that
aren't
doesn't exist
we
now.
aren't we somehow biologically determined from the moment we are conceived, when the mother and the father fall in love, and the bee and the other bee? I'm thinking like a poor kid. Okay, poor woman, poor man, baby, poor baby. And from the moment zero, like that baby won't have, like I'm thinking of a stress level of people who don't have who have very difficult economical needs, or that work in very horrible workplaces under a lot of pressure, that they don't eat healthy, that they are in a violent environment. And all this is happening while you are still in the stomach, like we're still in a fetus. So aren't we somehow biologically determined?
Yeah, but I think that those conditions can change. But in this case, I think that they don't.
Yeah.
Because they are biological predetermined.
Yeah.
I think.
But can like,
for example, there's another sentence that they are making people to the space to repair. I think wait.
Yeah, they work on
rocket plane engineers.
Yes, because
So
everything works with planes in the world state. Everyone moves in planes.
And it says that they are truly happy when they are standing on their heads. He preferred to stay on their heads.
On their heads than walking, yes.
They are making biological determination to these people.
Yes, like the predestination of your capacities or your
and obviously it has a social effect. Obviously,
of course,
it's a caste, but also is a biological RV. So it's really interesting.
yeah, no, I find it also very interesting. But I'm really thinking, and I would like us to discuss that now, like all of us. I'm thinking that I was thinking of the example of the family of Gary Medel. When he was like, he came from a very poor family, and when he was taken by Universidad Católica, they offered him and his family a house because he lived in Conchalí, like very far from San Carlos de Apoquindo. They offered him and his family a house next to the stadium, but they never felt comfortable in a different environment, because Kathy, you mentioned that they were destined to don't feel comfortable in another environment that is not theirs. And I'm thinking, of course, you know that deep down I don't agree with these ideas, and I think that we should live in a society where everybody has the chance. But in fact, in our society nowadays, can we move from caste to caste, like not caste, but social status to social status, and feel comfortable? Or do we need to change somehow to adapt and somehow reject the previous? Do you think that really is really possible, for example, for someone that is really poor, to move to a very to own, let's say that in this country somehow happens that you are born poor and you get to a very comfortable position in a company? Do you think that that person will not somehow have to reject the income, the environment from which he or she came from, to accept and adapt to the new environment? Or do you think that somehow, Felipe, do you think that we can
I
belong
think
to different castes?
it depends on the maturity of that person. I think if that person is sufficiently self-aware of our society, how our society works, the inequalities, I think he will be able to, maybe if he was born poor, but had the chance to get a very good degree and to work in a very good. One example is the mining industry here, right?
Yeah.
You can have people that earns way more than the average person in Chile, even engineers in Santiago. If you work in a mine, you will earn a lot more, even if you don't have a higher engineer degree. If you have only the engineer degree to operate a machinery, for example, you will get a lot more money, right, working in a mine. So in that example that you're talking about, that people tend to spend that money a lot in things that are not an investment, right? Uh, and they're comfortable living, I don't know, in northern cities because they're more close to the mining sites, but they're not buying houses, for example, in the more expensive neighborhoods in Santiago, because maybe they don't feel like they belong, or maybe they don't feel comfortable, or they're spending their money in other things. But I think that that's only because they didn't have maybe a complete education in life. They they got an education that is practical, and you and that education serves only one purpose, which is to earn money, right? But if you have a full education with cultural aspect, you I think you will be able to feel comfortable in other parts of society. But maybe if you're too educated, you will be feeling uncomfortable because you will know that some people are living in far worse condition, right? Maybe you wouldn't feel comfortable spending a lot of money in a car or buying too many iPhones, for example. And I think in the end it depends on the person. But I think that biologically we are totally able to feel comfortable in many situations.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on the fact that we are capable, but I am very pessimistic, like most of the time in my life. But truly, I think that maybe this idea of predestination, even biologically speaking, from the moment we start growing as human beings in the stomach of our mothers, like in uterus, even from that time, though I don't want to, and though it's not official, and though it's something it is against our nature, we are somehow already predestined to react in certain ways. For example, I'm thinking in like the fact that you are born poor, you are limited from I don't know, advantages of having good healthy food, at least. And then you go to a school where you don't get to see different realities. The same happens with the rich people, like they don't get to see different realities. So it's kind of difficult to, I think that the key here, or the key to create a society in which we could actually adapt to new status, would be to see these possibilities in advance as a kid, to know about other possibilities of life. And then we will fantasize, maybe like when you're a kid, you have a stage of your brain development in which you play the stage of games, in which you rehearse social interactions and social roles. So if I get to see that some people can be doctors and others can be engineers and others can be lawyers, not everybody needs to be a cashier and a bus driver and I don't know, a supermarket worker. If you get to see more options, you may prepare to adapt to those realities. But technically, people here in the world we live in don't get to see most of those options until they are too old enough to even consider plasticity in their brains to adapt to different realities. And the same for others. Like maybe someone living in Vitacura is perfect, like very well organized, and will be perfect at working in distributing products in a supermarket. But you don't even consider that option because you are forced to be a lawyer as your father. So maybe we're not that free from predestination. Just the position I would like to present. I would like us to see the whole book. I think that we all should consider this whole book maybe not that much of a sci-fi novel. Maybe more of a more theatrical way of seeing something not too far from reality. But I don't know, we'll see. Other topic that I think is important to discuss is Ford. We count time from before Ford and after Ford, and they also comment on for Ford's sake. So we have this Ford who is like Jesus. Ignacio, do I see his strange face? Don't you remember Ford? In they talked about time AF and BF. Oh no, something like that. After and before Ford.
The Ford guy.
The Ford, yes. He always
the Ford.
times of Ford. So Ford
I thought that it was like Ford, like the owner or the creator of General Ford,
I think it's no
like the company.
I think it's no coincidence that
Okay.
he chose the name Ford, because Ford is the inventor of mass production.
Yeah.
The first
He
company
invented
in
cars.
the world. Yeah, but the thing is that it's not just cars, it's mass production. The thing that Ford did was the first industry that massively produced their products. In this case, cars. So I think it's no coincidence that they chose the name Ford, but technically it's not that Ford, but it's Ford. So yeah, this Ford is like Jesus. What do you think that in a society, this society, the world state society, is based on technology? Like it's all about technology. Technology is, why do you think that in a society that advanced, and like we normally say that we need to free from religion and free from these beliefs and rely on scientific facts. Why do you think in a technological society we still created somehow Jesus, a new Jesus?
You're asking me about our society. Why
no, this society. No? Like you can answer thinking, I think that in order to answer this, we need to think in the current society. But in this society, what do you think in this society that is so technologically advanced as our society think we should move on? Why do you think that even in a technological society as this, they somehow or for some reason created a new Jesus? Why do we need a new Jesus in a technological society?
That's a good question. Maybe their religion is like technology, and they are trying to, fund or I don't know, validate his work or their work that had thrived to technology, giving a kind of a messiah the name of this. Or maybe people are always trying to believe in something that is deeper than what they normal lives are related to.
Yeah, but this society doesn't go for deep. Like, basically, the only emotions we get to explore here is Lenina smiled once, one of the girls.
Yeah.
And the other guy was happy to mention the statistics. Like, basically, that's emotions. The rest is just science. You're a scientist. Philippe is also a scientist here. Like, we are technically we're all scientists. Social sciences are also sciences. But why do you think that eventually in every society we will devote, even if we don't go for the deep emotional, because we even think that we created, I don't think we created Jesus, please forgive me, believers. Why do you think that as a society we would have an image of Jesus? Because we need to believe in something bigger. In this society that is based in technology, which is something physical, why do we still thrive for a creator or a figure?
It's a good question. As you said, we need a messiah, even though we are, fully dependent on technology. I don't know. I tend to think that as people are always like trying to believe in something deeper, like trying to bond into each other in a bigger context, like religion. If it's not like a mystic religion that it's like in our society, would be something else. And if this society, the society of the book, gives so much impact to this big change that happens to be Bokanovsky process, I guess. Maybe they find that or they try to give that a context of religion, and they are all happy with that.
maybe also the idea of a threat, like a threat, constantly present threat, like there will be something there is someone judging you, or someone that is establishing the rules. I don't know. Kathy, what do you think about this?
I think it's too recently to think in an answer. Just
yeah, but we're just speculating in a society where everything. Because I find it very interesting that we're constantly talking about moving in our society, moving away from religion to rely on science. This is a scientific society, like scientifically engineered society, and we still created God, like they.
Yeah.
Or sorry, Jesus, not God, Jesus.
Of course, that is the technology is the Jesus of these people, but I don't know, and they didn't mention what about the whole world, about not just these people in this. I don't know. It's a
the world state.
Yeah.
Yes, like it's just one country, the world state, and everybody lives in the world state.
Okay.
So that's important. That's the key for their stability, to Like they all shared everything, and something that will come up later in the book, but is somehow presented here, the concept of no identity and replacing identity with identicality.
But when this start?
When like they in the video they shortly explained that there was a world war disaster, and after this world war disaster that happened somewhere around our area, like in our time in history, this guy Ford put the world together and like took control. He's basically a dictator. Took control of the world in one world state, and from then on everything changed. Humanity did not reproduce the same way. We replaced the concept, because everything that happened before Ford is secret, like it didn't happen. There is nothing before Ford, and we guess that before Ford was Jesus, like they lived in the society we lived in, and they moved to this new society. So basically they deleted Jesus and replaced it with Ford.
The same today with market.
Yeah. So why do you think that even in advanced societies we will somehow, even this society, they will say when everybody's happy, everything is logical, everything is perfectly calculated and engineered, why do you think that they still thrive for Jesus? Whatever you want to call it.
Well, I think, as said Foucault, everything is about power and control, and we need an explanation for that. And we trying to find the better explanation, an easy explanation, and then enters this kind of answers, like Jesus, or like market, or science. I think that today is science, and yeah, all those for example, just for instance, this is my area, but indigenous knowledge is subalternized. I don't know if that word means exists.
Can you repeat the concept, please?
Is conocimiento subalterno.
Subaltern.
I don't know.
Yeah, but whatever.
But if we think every single group has their own knowledge, and today we have a hierarchy of knowledge.
Yeah.
It is science.
Yeah. It's the accepted explanation.
And yeah, and also the market, but we are constantly criticizing this kind of word, but we can see, I think, the power of science and how science determine us.
The thing is that even other explanations like market, other Jesus have joined science. Like even like everything is neuro marketing, neuro learning, neuro. Everything is difficult. And
in our everyday conversations or speech, and in this case, for example, social scientists or the real science.
Yeah.
Real science. Okay. Is something that you can prove, but the word has been governed for something that maybe doesn't exist like Jesus, for example.
Yeah.
So what is the truth finally? We think that something really exists. We create our facts.
Yeah.
And it's a historical condition.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the same. Like even in a society where everything is facts, we still need something to like, I think it's like something that puts everything together. Like all these facts come from here. This is the root of everything. And even in this society where you have like very, let's call it unsmart people. Like the deltas, like the final cast is designed not to think. Even they need an explanation from the most advanced, because the Buchanovsky process is only used for the lower caste. The alphas and the betas, like the superior caste, are born in the traditional, like only one egg makes a baby. In the Buchanovsky, you make 72 babies from one egg. But that process is only useful for the lower caste. So even those citizens of society that are born in a natural way and that are therefore more intelligent, they accept the same explanation the poor people do, maybe because is the, as you said, is the easiest to just accept one main ruling conception, cosmovision, that science is, period. I hear,
I'm thinking about that. Maybe as humans need, something bigger than us. Like it sounds, that sounded a lot like religion, but maybe we need something that we all can relate, a bigger idea. And even maybe the author couldn't get out of that idea too.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, sorry.
Like something so, no sé, como grabado en nosotros, like rooted in us, that we need something bigger, to relate.
Maybe we can talk about human nature more than human behavior. Getty, go ahead, please.
No. I just think that we need to believe in something.
Yeah.
And I think that is related to evolution in order to our mental evolution in difference to other species. Now that there come people who want who gonna talk to me that I'm ¿cómo se dice? Antiespecista.
Don't worry about the big words.
Okay. In order to that, I think that if we don't have something on someone or something to believe, this life doesn't make sense for anyone.
Yeah.
So some people has to choose, has the opportunity to choose that want to.
What they believe.
Yes, exactly, and other people don't have the chance.
Yes. Yeah, critical thinking. Critical thinking. The alphas and betas of the society, and we don't know if someone's gonna develop critical thinking in this society, maybe. But these people are capable of questioning things. Maybe they can find alternatives. When you're not able to question things, you just accept facts. I'm thinking also before we finish that the idea of we need to believe in something, because if I look at others and I it's easy for me to notice the differences with others. The first stages of our lives are about differentiate ourselves from others, and then we like, no, when you're a baby, no. But there is a stage of your life in which you need to differentiate from the rest. Like you define yourself, your identity. And I think that to define your identity in a process where you need to see the differences from peers, you need something to compare with, a standard or an idea of what's your ideal of everything, or what is right and wrong. Those concepts are too abstract that maybe when you put it in one idea, in one being, and that being holds all the idea of what is right and what's correct and what you expect and what you need to do and what's the right thing to do, that's the only moment when we can actually define our morals and our ethics or values. If we rely everything on the society to establish values, Like society does, of course, but you then start questioning when you grow old, and then you readapt. So that readaptation process, I think, will depend on whatever idea we have in mind of what's correct or what's the right way to be. And that can, and I think that it will be great if that could be, if we could all accept that that idea can change from person to person, and it's okay. And we all have our own God, and we live in a harmonious society. But we, of course, we don't. And there is no way to control population unless you establish a standard for what's the right thing to do. So maybe that's why they're still using this Jesus. So yeah, we also need to talk about fertility, but maybe we can talk about that next chapter, because next chapter will be, in this they explain the biological creation of beings. In the next chapter, they will explain the psychological. That's why you were familiar, is because Ignacio, you heard the second chapter, right? Yeah, in the second chapter, they will talk about the psychological conditioning of these beings. So when we talk about the psychological conditioning, we can maybe discuss in a deeper way why this society is made mainly sterile, free martins, they call it. Why are they sterile, and why is reproduction this way? Maybe psychologically we can understand better what is the purpose and the intentions of the world state. Okay. Any questions, doubts, ideas, contributions, comments, suggestions, complaints? Of course, there's room for complaints. Only nice ones. No?
No.
Yeah.
No, this was great. Sorry, not to be fully available to do my best, or not to express in the best way I can.
You were perfect. I just wanted to let you know that you were all perfect. Like, this is really difficult. Like, this is difficult. It would be difficult to do in Spanish, because it's reflecting on things that are kind of difficult to reflect on, and doing so in the second language. You have no idea how many cognitive skills are having a party inside your brain because they moved forward, like they advanced so much. So congratulations. That the same goes for like all of you. Seriously, even those listening, being able to stand a discussion and concentrate and listen to a discussion that take an hour about these topics, even just listening is not easy. So you guys are all making a big effort, and I'm very proud of you all. So yeah, any other comment or ideas? No? Any suggestions for following meetings? Things that you would like to start doing, maybe? No? Okay, so I guess that'll be it for today. I will see you next Monday. I would like Danny to also participate.
Thank you.
And Claudia.
Oh, sorry for the late,
Don't
but
worry. Don't worry.
my baby, it's first.
Yeah,
I think.
babies are babies. A natural born baby, not Bukanowski baby, needs attention.
Yes.
So yeah, try to give all the attention as an alpha. Raise your kid as an alpha citizen. Claudia, the same goes for you. We would love to have you join in the discussion next time, okay? And thank you, Felipe, thank you, Katy, and thank you, Ignacio. You guys were awesome. And I'll see you next Monday for chapter 2. Remember to listen or read. And that was it. Thank you for studying this again, and thank you for being here. Big hugs for you all. Thank you. Have a great week.
Thank you, Alicia.
Thank you, Alicia.
I'll see you during the week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Stay.